I am so glad that you've turned your channels here with me today. I have so much to tell you today. Aren't you tired of hearing bad news? Well, I got some good news to tell you. But before I get ready to tell you, I know you can't wait because I can't wait. Go and get your friends, go get your family members. Tell them that God is getting ready to speak. Matter of fact, get on the phone and call somebody. Call your girlfriend and tell them that we're getting ready to hear from God. I'm looking for the remnant. I'm looking for the outcast. I'm looking for you that feel like you're rejected and you won't be accepted. I need you. I gotta talk to you. I gotta share with you good news that the Lord wants me to say to you. It's your time. It's your time for your deliverance. You'll never be the same again. So glad that you're back. Okay, are you ready? I am ready. I am so excited about this word today. I tell you, we're going to be coming from Exodus, the 14th chapter today. Have you ever just like been in a place in your life and you're wondering, you're asking God, God, what is going on? I mean, I'm in a season in my life where it seems like things are not getting better. Seems like it's just getting worse. And it just seems like I can't understand it. I'm in an uncomfortable place. I'm in a place that I've never been before. And you just really want some questions. Am I doing something wrong? Or did I make the wrong move? God, even did I hear you right? Well, I'm talking to you today. We're going to look at Exodus, the 14th chapter, and we're going to see what God is saying about you and your season, about the place that you're in right now, because you want to know what's going on. Okay, Exodus, the 14th chapter, starting at that first verse, and it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses." Hold it right there. God is speaking. God is speaking. God spake unto Moses. Something I want to tell you very important today. I would like for you to stay in a position where you can hear the voice of God. I mean, when God speaks, you got to stay in a place where you can hear God. I know things are going to be going on, things are going to be coming up, but you got to learn how to stay where you can hear God. Say it with me or repeat after me. I'm going to stay in position, even in my condition. That's right. You got to learn how to stay in position no matter what the condition is. I want to be able to hear from God. You know, a lot of times when we can't depend on our hearing, we tend to go and ask people, what's your opinion? What do you think? Well, what is God saying? Or we ask, what would you do? You know, at a time in my life where I'm going through some things and I'm trying to make some important decisions, I don't have time for guessing. I don't know about you. And I need people that's going to speak into my life that know what they're talking about. It's not a time for you give, giving me your personal opinion or what I should. At the end of the day, I want to know what God has to say. And a lot of times we got to stay in a place where we can hear God. It's okay to hear what my friend is saying, but God, I want to know what you're saying. Are you approving of what I'm saying? Are you approving of the move I'm making? Is this you? Is this a God move? Because a lot of times, we can be doing a good thing, but it's not a God thing. And then sometimes we can be doing a good thing and can be doing a God thing, but we can be doing it at the wrong time. So I want to stay in a place where I can hear God for myself. We're living in a day and a time where people, they're not hearing Him for themselves. They're going to people and asking, do you got a word for me? What is God saying? Did He tell you something about me? One thing I learned about God began to tell me, say, listen, if you got a relationship with me, you don't have to go and ask and seek for a prophet all the time to give you a word. God said, if you got a relationship with me, I'll give you the word. And when the prophet comes by, the prophet will just be confirming what I've already told you. So we got to learn how to depend on our hearing. Faith cometh by what? Hearing. And hearing the word of God. So the first thing I want to tell you, stay in a place where you can hear God. I know it's uncomfortable, but keep your ears open where you can hear the voice of God. And another thing I want to tell you, sometimes God will send you a word through somebody or send confirmation through somebody. Don't look at the person, that's giving you the word, because sometimes you can look at the person and they may not look like what you want them to look like, and then you miss out on the word. That word could be coming from your little baby daughter. God could be giving them that word at the time to give you, but because you're looking at the child as young, you can miss out on what God is telling you. So stay in a position where you can hear God. So, okay, right here it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses. And then it goes on to say that he was speaking to them, and he was getting ready to give them instructions, telling them exactly what he wanted them to do. Okay, now this is a time now, okay, I want to hear the instructions. A lot of people, we get so excited about our ending of what God is saying we're going to do that we fail to listen to the instructions on how to get there. Oh, I know that's the truth. We get so excited. Oh, this is what's going to happen to me in the end. I'm going to be victorious. This here is going to happen. God said this. But did you obey the instructions? You know, deliverance always requires obedience. You got to hear the instructions. God began to give them simple instructions. He had a certain way that he wanted them to do this. He had a certain way he wanted them to go and to get there. So he began to tell them, okay, I need you to turn. He said, speak unto the children of Israel that they turn. That means detour. Here's the test. And encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. Deliverance always requires obedience. A lot of times we get the word that God gives us and we say, Lord, I got a better way to do this. I got a much quicker way to do this. But God say, I want you to get there, but I want you to get there by the way I'm telling you to get there. And a lot of times we don't want to do it God's way. God began to tell them would you just look at it. He said, I'm giving you specific instructions. He says what? Encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon. So those were the instructions. You know, he says, okay, you got to go before, between, and then over against. We have to do things God's way. Just think about this. Remember when the Israelites was getting ready to conquer Jericho and they were getting ready to go in? God, what's the plan? How are we going to take this city? He said, walk around the walls 7 times and then shout. And I'm sure he's like, really? God, you mean to tell me this is the plan? But in order for them to be successful, they had to do it God's way. Some of you right now in the place that you're in, I wonder, have you obeyed the instructions? I want you to really think about that. Are you obeying the instructions now? Are you still trying to do it your way, the way that you think it should be done? Or are you going to do this God's way? You're only going to be successful when you totally obey God. Deliverance always requires obedience. So he began to give them specific instructions. And as we begin to look at this, he told them, stay right there, stay right there. And they had to stay right there until God gave instructions. You know, I find out sometimes God will have you to go and step out and do things. And then once you step out, he'll tell you, okay, stay right here. I'll be back. And you wondering, okay, God, I'm here, but what am I going to do next? And I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I go somewhere, or if I'm getting ready to do something, I want to know everything. I want to know what's going to happen when I get there. I want to know who's going to help me when I get there. I want to know, is there going to be some provision? You know, you just want everything written out and structured. But sometimes that's not the way God works. Sometimes God will tell you to start moving in the direction, and then he'll come and give you more instructions after you step out. Somebody said, oh my God, this place that I'm in, Prophetess Holt, it is so uncomfortable. I have never been in this place before where God have me. I know he told me to camp here and stay here. And I've been in that place. I know God spoke to me. But sometimes when you get there, you go through so much, you begin to wonder like, God, did you really say this? Because I'm going through so much. You mean to tell me you're going to put me out here in a defenseless position where it seems like I can't defend myself? The enemy is coming in after me. You mean to tell me you're going to put me in a place where you're going to tell me to totally just walk out and have faith? Somebody probably left a job that was paying you well, and God told you to go by faith and get off your job and start your own business, and you don't even have a plan how you're going to do it, but you know God spoke. So God began to tell them exactly where to be. And if we begin to look at that next verse, it says, for Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel that they are entangled in the land. God said, now listen, I'm going to give you some more information concerning this place that you're in, this place that I've stationed you to be. Your enemy is going to think that you're trapped. Your enemy is going to think that you're shut in. They're going to think that there's no way out for you. But the Lord say, the enemy's plan is a part of my larger plan to begin to bring you out of this place. God said, and I want to let you know that it ain't even about you. I'm just using you as a display for me to get some glory. If you begin to read on down in that scriptures, he began to tell them that, I am going to harden Pharaoh's heart so that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. Sometimes we are going through stuff, not so much for us, but sometimes you're going through something for somebody else. You could be going through something so that your family could see that God is a deliverer, that God is able, so that your enemies will know that God can do it. Just so that people that have doubted God said, you told me that I can use you. You sung that song, Lord, I'm available. Use me as you please. So God said, why, when I want to use you for something that makes you uncomfortable, you don't want to be used that way? I don't know about you, but I've sung that song many times. Lord, use me, use me. But a lot of times I just didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know God was going to use me. I've oftentimes lifted up my hands and said, God, humble me even the more. But I didn't know, God, you was going to take everything I had to humble me, strip me from everything I had to make me humble. And he'll do things because his ways are not our ways. His thoughts is not our thoughts. And so he began to tell them, he said, I'm going to put you in this place. I want you to go here. You are in the right place. And this is what God is telling me to tell you today. You are in the right place. And somebody's looking at me like, are you serious? I thought maybe I did something wrong, or maybe God was mad with me with the stuff that I'm going through. But God said, no, tell them I did tell you to do that. I did tell you to make that faith move. I did tell you to walk out and step out. And as you're stepping out, you got to learn how to just trust God. God is a deliverer. God is a keeper. And so, can you imagine them standing there in that place, right there where God told them to stand, place uncomfortable? They knew the enemy was coming in after them, but they have to just stand there and wait on God. Now, what I want to tell you about the place that you're in, they ended up over by Baal-zephon. Oh, my God. Now, I'm just so excited to tell you about that because a lot of you right now are in Baal-zephon. And somebody said, well, what is Baal-zephon? What in the world is that? You're saying I'm in Baal-zephon? Yeah. Because, Baal-zephon, if you begin to read about it a little bit, it talks about it was in the territory of the enemy. Well, first of all, the enemy is going to get whooped on his territory. That's the first thing about it. And the next thing, as I began to read about Baal-zephon, was that it read that Baal-zephon was the place right before the miracle. I'm wondering, is anybody catching it? I know it's a hard place, but I'm telling you, after you come out of this, you are right in the place where the miracle is. After you get through going through this here, you'll be right in the place where you need to be. Guys, I didn't say it was going to be easy, but it's good to know that the place that I'm in ain't got but one more step before I be truly walking into where I need to be walking into, the place I've been trying to get to all my life. I just got one more step to make. God said, encourage the people today. Let them know today, don't throw in the towel because you are in the right place. I know it's hard. I know you've been talked about. I know people think you're crazy. Now, let me tell you something. Obeying God isn't easy. I get it. I have had to obey God with tears running down my face. But I knew God spoke to me. I have had to let people go that I wasn't ready to let go. And a lot of times, sometimes you're holding on to people and you're trying to take them with you, but everybody can't go where you're going. And I've just had to obey God, tears running, and wasn't always happy to do it all the time. It hurted me to do it, but I obey God anyway. And one thing about obeying God, you can never go wrong. The place is uncomfortable. It's not easy. Somebody's probably saying right now, this is the brokest I ever been. This is a place I have never been. And you're so used to being independent. You're so used to, not having to beg for anything or having everything that you need. But God said, I got you in this uncomfortable place because I know what it takes to get you to your ending. God says, I'm stretching you. I'm getting you ready. I'm getting you ready to walk in your destiny and to your inheritance. So the place that you're in, don't worry about it. Go on and go through it. Go on and endure the temptation. Go on and endure the trial. Because after this place will be the next place where I'm telling you things are getting better. It's going to get better after this step. Struggle is going to be over after this step. It's going to be a little bit more easier. God says, I'm not just going to give you another blessing, another miracle. God said, but after this, and after you come out of this place, I'm going to give you a life change. Somebody's been saying, God, I need my life to change. I need a change in my life. And God said, after I take you through this process, the next place is your miracle. That's why the enemy is hitting you below the belt. That's why he's really trying to get you to really give up. That's why you've really been feeling all suicidal and you just feel like you just can't take it another minute. And because you are at the end of this thing, do you hear me? You are at the end of your struggle. And the next place is the place right before your miracle.
The main thing that drew me was the love, and it's the love for the people, and it's love across the board regardless of how a person is. It's just love for all types of people.
Welcome back. I know you must be feeling really good, or I know I am, just to know that the place that I'm in, I've not made a mistake. I did hear God right. You're in the place right before the miracle. As we begin to look, I'm going to take you to this next verse. The 5th verse says, and it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people, and they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand, but the Egyptians pursued after them. Everything that God told them would happen is happening. The enemy is coming in after them. And God told you, a lot of times when you get your word, a lot of times he tells you the ending, like I told you before. But he doesn't always tell you what's going to go on in between. You know bits and parts. And then sometimes you're going through certain things, and on your way getting there, you'd be like, I didn't know I was going to lose this friend on my way. I really thought this friend would be with me when I get over there, or when I get to my place of destiny. Everything is happening what God told them. The enemy is coming in after them. They're afraid. And that's just like us. Even though we've heard the voice of God, when things go to happen, we still panic. Fear still steps in. And fear always want to come in, when you're making a faith move. But we have to remember that we have to rebuke that spirit of fear and believe God. I don't know about you, but whose report are you going to believe? I'm going to believe the report of the Lord. They begin to go over there and be stationed at that place. And I know that the place you're in, you're saying, this is crazy. My life is crazy right now. You just don't, I know you feel crazy. I know when you try to explain to people what's going on, you can't even explain yourself. You ever been like that? People are like, what's going on with you? You don't even have words. You can't even defend yourself. You seem lethargic. You act, sometimes obeying God makes you seem unstable sometimes because you really don't know sometimes what's going on. This is your first time just really going through. You're just obeying the directions of God, and people tend to think, well, I don't believe God will tell you to do that, and then you go through this and you go through that. But I'm standing on what God told me. And I know what my ending result will be. And I'm going to wait right here until the end. I'm going to stand on what God says until I get to the end. So this place is uncomfortable. But I tell you, while I'm in this place, God is stretching me. God is stretching you. God is making you a better person. God is building your faith. You'll never be the same again. This experience that you're going through is going to help somebody else. I know you don't understand it right now, but this place is going to be a testimony. And as we begin to read and look, and if you would just go and read in your own timing, as they begin to complain, and a lot of times we get in the place that we're in, and we start complaining. Yeah, I do it too. I do it too. Like, come on, God, what do you do? I know you said the same thing. We tend to complain. And God began to just get tired of them complaining and began to speak to the children of Israel. He said, fear not. Fear not. What are you afraid of? And I'm telling you today, what are you afraid of? God spoke this. God, I would be scared if somebody else gave me their word and said that they was going to deliver me or bring me out. But God said that he was going to bring you out. God spoke and said that you're going to have the victory. So what are you afraid of? And as you stand there and just reminisce on, the things of God, you got to learn how to just begin to praise God in this place. I know it's uncomfortable, but give God praise in this place while you're here. God began to talk to him, said, fear not. Don't be afraid for the Egyptians, whom ye've seen today. Ye shall see them again no more forever. And the Lord began to speak to him and tell him, listen, the Lord shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Somebody done all they can do. You done said all you can say. You done tried everything and everything have failed. God said, I'm going to fight for you. Now, isn't that good? I don't know about you, but all my life I done had to pretty much fight. And I know we sound like Oprah right now, but God's saying that he's going to fight. Oh, that just makes me just want to just exhale. Because I don't have to fight this battle. I don't have to argue about it no more. God says, I'm going to do the fighting for you. God said, this is too big for you anyway. Stop trying to let me handle it. And somebody today, you need to let God have it. You're tired of talking to your children. You're tired of talking to your husband about it. You done went over this over and over. And God said, I'm fighting for you. And what I need you to do right now is just hold your peace. God, you want me to hold my peace? Yeah, God said, don't say nothing else. Sometimes you got to know just when to hush, close your mouth. Because a lot of times when we say things, it get us in so much trouble. Sometimes just keep your mouth closed. There's a whole lot of things you can say, but God said, hold your peace. I'm going to fight for you. Egyptians that you see today, you don't have to see them again no more forever. Gave them that word, and just think they're still stationed right there where God told them. But look at this. They're stationed there, but they hear the enemy coming in after them. And the people are like, what are we gonna do? Now that's just real talk. Hearing what God is saying, but seeing something else. Never mind what you see. I'm gonna tell you right now, when you're making a faith move, you can't be looking at the circumstances, can't be looking at the things that's going on around you. You got to put on those spiritual eyes. You got to see right past what the devil is doing. Because the devil is just going to keep so much going all up in front of you and just keep you looking at what's going on, how bad it is. But you got to remember what you heard. I heard God speak. They were stationed there. All of this stuff is going on. God, if you were going to come, look like you'll hurry up and come by now. If you was going to do something, look like you would do something by now. A lot of times you're going through stuff. God, somebody saying, Lord, I'm standing on the street right now. My furniture, the eviction, they are here taking my stuff, literally taking it out and putting it on the sidewalk. And if you were going to move, it seemed like you would have came before. And you're just waiting on God. But I don't know about you. Even with my stuff standing on the street, I would still be saying, I still believe God. Even after you go to the doctor and get bad news, I'll still be saying, I believe God. Because it's right there and right there. And you know, God don't always tell us he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. They were there waiting, heard the word from God. He said, this stuff that you're seeing, you ain't gonna see it no more forever. All you gotta do is believe. And then he began to talk to Moses. He said, Moses, stretch out your hand. What's in your hand? And God is telling me to tell you today, you're looking for your deliverance all around you. You're trying to figure out which way it's coming from, or where is it coming from? Do I need to get on the phone? Do I need to call somebody way up north? God said, what you need is already in your hands. You got it in your hands. What you need to travel to this next place, to come out of where you're at, is in your hands. You are already equipped. How did I get it? How did it get in my hands? I tell you what, this process put it in your hands. You going through what you're going through got you ready to cross over. He said, stretch out your arm. My God. And God began to tell him, go forward. Now here's God speaking again, go forward. But Lord, there is a big old sea in front of me and you're telling me to go forward. God, he just speaks like, he talks like that. Go forward. And they're having to go forward and God is talking as if he got ships or something waiting. There are no ships out there. How are we going to go forward? But God already had a plan. And I'm telling you today, you got to trust the plan of God. I'm telling you today that this place you're in is uncomfortable. You're totally out of your element. But this is the place right before the miracle. You are at the end of this thing. If you go head on and just go through this place, you'll be where you need to be. I don't know about you, but I feel a whole lot better because even I was like, okay, God, you got to tell me, are you sure? But I'm sure today. How about you? I'm sure we are in the place right before the miracle. We just go head on and go on through this. It'll be over. We'll be right where we need to be. Thank you for watching today. And remember, you are in the place. I know you're going to be fought. The enemy's going to try to come, make you mad, probably when you get to work. But you got to talk to yourself, say, I'm not worried about that. Let the enemy do all what he wants to do. Because I know I'm in the place right before the miracle. Thank you for tuning in today. And I'll see you next time on the Shawanna Holt Show. Be blessed.